بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. It is very important to understand that especially Muslims in the West are the most equipped to lead civilization because they have the best of the two worlds. You have the Islamic values, Islamic understanding, Islamic Sharia, and at the same time you have gotten the knowledge and the advancement of the West, not only technologically but also the methodology of thinking by itself, the organization, the strategic planning, etc. So you are very well equipped to lead. And I have great hopes for the young generation that is studying in the West. Let me talk about Islamophobia. Islamophobia is not a new phenomenon. It is a phenomenon that has started with the start of Islam itself. The leaders of Quraysh, the tribe of the Prophet ﷺ, were so scared of this new message that they pressured it and tried to crush it since the start of Islam itself. And it reached to the level that they wanted to assassinate the Prophet ﷺ himself. When the pressure increased upon Muslims, especially in the first 4 or 5 years of Islam, the message of the Prophet ﷺ was, خَلُّوا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ النَّاسِ. If you will not agree to become Muslims, then my message to you is very simple. Let me talk to people. That is all. I don't want to take over. It is not a quarrel. It is not a fight. It is not a war between us and those who are not Muslims. It is just one message. It's a peaceful message that the Prophet ﷺ have taught us. Let us talk to them. That is all we are asking. What is happening in the world at that time and today is that they don't understand the message, and thus they are so fearful of the message, and thus the only way to deal with it is to spread Islamophobia among the masses, among the elites, and at the same time try to crush it. And that confrontation from the other side, that pressure from the other side is the reason for all the wars that happened in the history of Islam. Islam is a very peaceful message. It comes from the name itself, Islam, the religion of peace and submission to God. We are not after killing people. It is not our message. We are not even after making them Muslims. It is against our religion to make anyone as a Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا إكراه في الدين. Let there be no compulsion in religion. لست عليهم بمسيطر. You have no control over them. فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر. Let those who wish to believe do so, and let those who wish not to believe do so. So this is our message. It's not a message of oppression, of forcing people into our religion. It's the opposite. As a matter of fact, Islam teaches that if you are pressured into anything, then you are not accountable for it. Whether it's something in faith or something even in action, if you are pressured, forced into an action, you will not be judged upon that action. So this is our message. It's a very simple message. It's a message of peace. It's a message of dialogue, understanding each other. No pressure from any side. Now what has the West done, especially in the few decades, is that they have exaggerated this Islamophobia. And by the way, they have succeeded. It is the responsibility of our youth to fix that. The number of people who were afraid of Islam 20 years ago is much, much less than those who are in the West and they fear Islam today. So Islamophobia has increased. It is not getting less. It is not decreasing. It has increased everywhere. In Germany, in France, in Britain, in America, everywhere. And at the same time, ignorance of Islam is still the same. I have the statistics for America. The number of people who have heard of Islam from a Muslim are less than 10%. And those who have heard about Islam in a convincing way is only 2%. So again, this is your numbers. So 90% of the people have heard about Islam only from media sources, and these media sources have tainted Islam with terrorism. Yes. We are against terrorism. We are against Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden and the Qaeda group have hijacked Islam itself. This is not Islam. Islam doesn't teach us to kill people, and Islam doesn't teach us to bomb buildings randomly and so on. This is absolutely un-Islamic. Absolutely. Have no doubt in your minds that Osama bin Laden and his followers have deviated from the true Islam. There is a simple way, by the way, that history have taught us. How do we know that a certain group have deviated or not? It's a very simple test. They have taught us in the history of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ that Al-Khawarij, for example, a group that have deviated from Islam. How do we know that they have deviated? There are no scholars. As a matter of fact, they had no companion of the Prophet, not even one among them. All the companions of the Prophet, all the scholars of Islam, the major scholars, were against them. So this is your test. See, where are the major scholars of Islam? Where do they stand? Yes, there are some scholars who follow governments. Forget this. Take the free scholars and see, where do they stand? You will find that not even a single major scholar anywhere have agreed with Al-Qaeda ideas. So we are against it. Our scholars are against it. We have been taught in Islam, in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you have any doubt, if you have no knowledge, then ask those with knowledge. Ask those with knowledge. Here we're talking about the major scholars. See what is the opinion of all of our major scholars about terrorism, about forcing people, bombing people, etc. Whether it's in London or anywhere. We are totally against it. My heart breaks when I see the results of a terrorist act in London, for example. It breaks for two reasons. The first reason is that I absolutely do not accept these people being killed. These are innocent people. You may not kill them. The Prophet ﷺ, in one of his battles, after the battle, he saw a woman killed. And that battle happened in the desert. It did not happen in a city. So this unbelieving woman was with the army that were against Muslims. She was supporting the army directly. She was with the army. And the Prophet ﷺ saw her, and he was so angry. He said, "Who killed the woman? Who killed the woman?" And he made a full investigation until he found out that she was killed by Khalid ibn al-Walid, the great military leader of Islam. So he made a full investigation with Khalid until he found out that he killed her when she tried to assassinate him, when she tried to kill him. And only then he had forgiven Khalid. Now look, this is a woman that was in the army with the enemies of Islam. She was not in her city. She was with the army, and even so, the Prophet ﷺ refused that she is killed. So this is where we stand. We are against killing people. We are against killing civilians. It is only in wars that we fight, and wars in Islam are very limited. We have made a count of how many days the Prophet ﷺ was engaged in war that was forced upon him. It is only 7% of his life that was wars. 93% of his life, he lived a peaceful life. So this is what Islam teaches us. So we are against this because, first of all, it's killing of innocent people. Whether they're Muslims or non-Muslims, doesn't matter. My heart breaks when I see a child or a woman or a man that is a civilian who is not a Muslim being killed. They are killed unjustly, and we absolutely do not accept that. The second reason that my heart breaks when I see terrorist acts is that when these acts are shown on TV, they don't show it as Al-Qaeda terrorists. They call it Islamic terrorists. What does Islam has to do with that? I mean, if somebody from the Irish army kills someone in Britain, they don't call it the Christian army, the Christian terrorist. They call it the Irish or whatever. It has nothing to do with Islam. It has nothing to do with Christianity. This is not part of religion. So Islamic phobia is really something that is constructed and exaggerated by the media. And unless and until we take a firm stand against it, we're clarifying what Islam talks about it. And I always talk to my fellow scholars and leaders of movements in the Muslim world. Please, no apology at all for terrorist acts. For example, some terrorist acts happened in some of our countries in the Middle East. And I heard some of our scholars say, yes, it is wrong, but it is the government's pressure that caused it. There is no buts in this. This is wrong. This is wrong. Even if the governments pressure us, we do not react by terrorism. It is absolutely un-Islamic, it's absolutely unacceptable. It contradicts with the original idea of Islam of peace and mercy. This is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have not sent you but as a mercy to humankind. This is the message of Islam. Mercy, peace, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. That's what Islam teaches. Unfortunately, Western media have played a major role in misrepresenting Islam. And it is for an agenda, of course. But again, it is our shortcoming in infiltrating or making our own strong media and show the whole world the true Islam. This is what we expect from you, the young generation, especially those who are specialized, who have specialized in media and politics and sociology, etc. It is or philosophy, etc. Show the world, show the elites especially the beauty of the merciful, peaceful message of Islam. That is my message to you today, and inshallah your efforts will give us the fruits that we expect in a few years that will change the way the West especially looks about Islam and understand the beautiful message of our beloved religion. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum.
شراب الحب يعرف بالمذاق وما كل السقاة له بساق. شراب الحب